Trump calling out the Biden DOJ for going after Democrat Henry Cuellar after years of that same DOJ covering up for Joe Biden and his family as they did the exact same thing. Last week, the Justice Department filed felony charges against Congressman Cuellar of Texas and his wife for allegedly taking foreign bribes of up to $600,000 from an oil and gas company in Azerbaijan. Remember when they worked with oil and gas companies in China and Ukraine, the Bidens did? And also a bank in Mexico City. It's the exact same scheme. And his family took part with in China, also very similar to what we saw in Ukraine. It went through Cuellar's wife, is what they're alleging. Cuellar is a politician, goes through his family members. It's the same thing, just not nearly as much money in the Cuellar case. $600,000, that's pennies. Hunter will put that up his nose in 2 weeks. Trump posting on Truth Social, Biden just indicted Henry Cuellar because the respected Democrat congressman wouldn't play Crooked Joe's open border game. He was for border control, so they said, let's use the FBI and DOJ to take him out. This is the way they operate. They're a bunch of D.C. thugs, and at some point they're going to have to pay a very big price for what they've done to our country. Crooked Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. Cuellar was one of only 13 House Democrats who joined Republicans earlier this month in voting to denounce the Biden immigration policies. He's been a really, really big critic of what they've done to the border, and he's hurt Biden a lot politically. He's been consistent in criticizing Biden's handling of immigration, which is killing him in this election. Take a look.
The Republicans and Donald Trump are doing better than Biden and Democrats on border security. He can do better, and I'm ready to work with him to make it better. I don't know why they keep avoiding the border and say there's other things more important than visiting the border. He can't do everything, but there are certain things he can do on an executive order.
Now, I'm not saying the allegations against this guy are false. What I'm saying is it's interesting when they pop up, considering it's Washington and probably everybody in town is doing these kinds of things. Dr. Sebastian Gorka joins us now, along with Eric Eggers, Vice President of the Government Accountability Institute, investigating corruption. Good to see you guys. Eric, how on earth does the DOJ go after Henry Cuellar for this after we watched them go to such tremendous lengths to suppress the same things about Joe Biden and his family?
Yeah, you mentioned it's $600,000. It's $600,000 over a 7-year span. Hunter Biden was making a multitude of that over a much longer period of time. And I like how in the DOJ's indictment, they say that Mrs. Cuellar provided no real value, which everyone knows is exactly what Hunter Biden did or didn't do. So I think it's absolutely fair to question legitimacy of when the DOJ decides to or to not pursue charges, because they clearly didn't pursue them on much more legitimate grounds when it was the son of the president.
And Eric, real quick, back to you. I mean, the hilarity, I feel like the DOJ is potentially trying to do this to show, look, we're not partisan. We're not just going after Trump. We go after Democrats, too. But you pick a case that looks just like Joe Biden's.
It's comical. It's almost like cut and paste. The only difference is this is somebody who, as you noted, has been a critic of Joe Biden's immigration policy. It's also the only pro-life Democrat in Congress.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Sebastian, we know how Cuellar and Menendez, indicted for corruption. Notice how Democrats are not throwing them out.
Yeah.
You know, they get to stay.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. The esprit de corps, the team spirit on the left is a little bit stronger. But if they want to demonstrate how unbiased the DOJ is, they shouldn't go after the only pro-life Democrat who's strong on the border, because then you kind of give the game away. If they want to show that they're not biased, maybe they should go after, the woman whose stock market profits are rather paranormal in their success, like Nancy Pelosi, who just has this magic supernatural power to pick just the right stocks. Then I'd be impressed, Rob.
Yeah, Paul Pelosi is a savant with the stock market. That's all I can say. He just always makes the right pick. It is amazing. Eric, no surprise from the New York Post. I want to flip over to the Trump case for a second. Matthew Colangelo, we talk about this guy a lot, prosecuting Trump in the New York criminal trial, here the Bragg trial, was a political consultant for the DNC. Also donated to Obama in 2018. The DNC reportedly paid him $12,000 for political consulting, and then he leaves the Department of Justice to come to New York and prosecute Joe Biden's only serious political contender in this election. How dirty does that look?
Oh, it looks terrible, and you've got all kinds of problematic things. I mean, if Fani Willis was actually in attendance at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, walking the red carpet like she's some kind of a Hollywood celebrity, when all she's done is play ball according to the White House's political directives. So you think about it, you're literally celebrating the weaponization of the mechanisms of justice against the former president and the current president's political opponent, and that's the thing we celebrate with the media in on it. So the Colangelo news is just the latest in a long line of people. You got the president basically asking the reporters to help him prosecute Trump. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Sebastian, I got one more for you here. This Kevin Parker, he's a New York State, he's a Brooklyn State Senator. He's a state senator for New York from Brooklyn. He voted for the now expired Adult Survivors Act. It's the thing that lifted the statutes of limitation and allowed E. Jean Carroll to file this civil lawsuit decades later, right? And despite the fact this woman was proven to have lied about what she was wearing. She claims she asked Donald Trump to go in the dressing room with her. She couldn't remember the year that this happened. He voted for this thing. Well, karma is cutting very deep for Kevin Parker because now there's a woman who's accusing him of raping her way back in 2004. And now he says, after they've already gotten Trump on it, he says, now it's unconstitutional. You can't use it on me.
Oh, my gosh. It's like Kathy Hochul saying about the business filing case when all the New York billionaires were said, well, we're going to leave New York. Don't worry. This is just about one man, one guy, Trump. It's not about anybody else. I mean, seriously. But on the Colangelo thing, let me just add one thing that I didn't even realize, thanks to my friend Vince Colonnese on his radio show, he pointed out today. Do you know Colangelo was number 3 at the DOJ?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He goes from number 3 to a line prosecutor in New York.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Nobody.
You only do that if you're the Biden guy inside the wire for that case. Nobody goes from number 3 at DOJ to some line prosecutor in Manhattan. Are you kidding me?
What's scary is that they can do this and they feel like they don't have to answer to anybody. That's actually a really scary point. And then that's
why you do what you do.
That's exactly right. Sebastian Gorka, Eric Eggers, good to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rob.